to Mazatlan.
Bienvenidos a Mazatlan.
This is our view from breakfast on our balcony. The sunrises and sunsets here are just beautiful. Just the colors and it's weird because on the monitor it looks like it's red, orange, and yellow, but in person it's more of a pink lavender.
Yeah, there's a lot of pink in there.
See that little black thing in the water?
You still see it?
It's hard to focus. It just went behind. You can't see it now. There was a shark. And there's this little fishing boat here. And the shark came up to the fishing boat, kind of circled it for a minute. We freaked out. The things that you see at breakfast. I didn't know that.
You see at sea.
I didn't know that the waters of the ocean were infested with sharks.
No, they just live there. No, sea could be infested with chickens.
That would be weird.
That would be an infestation.
Pretty sunrise. Trying to figure out what that thing is.
Is it that boat?
No, it's not that boat. I think it's another boat.
It's just another boat. I thought so. They're really far out.
They sure are.
Do we have a pilot or a pirate here? I don't know. Marina Rescate. That's a cool shot.
Look at that old boat. nowhere. I think we're here, Barry. Oh, that's just beautiful.
We are coming into Mazatlan. I've seen a lot of jetties. I've never seen homes built on them. I guess that's what that is. I don't know. Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember now. Yeah. Hurricane came through here not that long ago. I kind of wondered how it was going to affect our trip. I mean, that's not all I thought about, but it was one of my thoughts. I'm not that much of a jerk.
Gibraltar. The one in Gibraltar is no longer in use. Ours is. It has an altitude of 515 feet and the light can reach up to 36 nautical miles when the skies are clear. Don't expect to see a tall tower. They're using the height of the mountain to project the light of the lighthouse, okay? But also, that is our hiking point for us. It will take you half an hour, depending on your physical condition for you to reach the top.
3.
There's not a trail, it's not a road, it's just a trail. If you're able to do so, it's very worth it because once you're up there, you can take an entire panoramic view of not only the Mazatlan Bay area, but the entire Pacific Ocean as well. Then over there we have these white rocks on the left side. Any guesses why those are white? It's not salt, it's not limestone, it's not snow for sure. Those are white because of the birds around the area, exactly.
Oh my.
Which are the birds responsible of making those rocks white? Good, we have the magnificent frigate, which is the white one with the scissor-like tail. You will see it planing along the funnel, on top of the funnel of your ship because they seek for warm air. We have the brown and the bluefoot boobies, which are a little bit like ducks. We have the pelicans and the seagull. From all the birds that I just mentioned you, the only ones that cannot go into the water are the magnificent frigates. And that's because their feathers, they don't produce enough oil to keep them dry. So if they go into the water, they can drown. That's why they steal the fish from the other birds around the area, especially away from the brown and the bluefoot boobies. Now also, aside from these white rocks, the only areas in which you can also find the bluefoot boobies are the Galapagos Islands, some areas off the coast of Ecuador and Peru, and certain points around the Sea of Cortez. This is one of them. But also, as we go around Mazatlan, you will see that we like stories, we like legends. And the story behind these white rocks says that two brothers that were fishermen, they were very close to each other. They fell in love with the same woman and then they fought to death for her love. And then the very next day, they found each one of their bodies in different white rocks. But wait, whatever happened with the lady? The lady didn't even acknowledge her love and she married a sailor.
Yeah, but you can see the glimpse and everything through it. Yeah.
There's the lighthouse on top of the hill.
Oh yeah. Yes.
recognize the scrolls which you said you crossed.
I'll tell you, it does make me laugh.
Take it for 25, my first sale. $25.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Look at it.
Let's bring that back on the list.
Look at it.
Funicular ride.
Trees hitting the roof. This is not a one-way street.
It's not a one-way.
No, but it's about the size of a one-way street.
I'd live here if I didn't have to drive.
See, there's a car trying to come the other direction.
Now, coming on the left side of the bus, we have this building with the white arches. That is a customs building. The customs building was placed here when we were still part of the Spanish colony. Remember, we were getting robbed by a lot of French pirates, so the Spanish crown wanted to ensure its gold. Later on, with the pass of the time, they made some few modifications to the building, and they also added the motifs on top of the arches. Over there you'll see the cattle head, the anchor, and the dress, which represent the commercial activities of Mazatlan. This was the heart of the original harbor. Nowadays, these are the offices of the Federal Taxation Agency.
No. They need to do some restoration on it before they lose it.
Reminds me of Paris. Not at all.
Not at all.
Said no one ever.
I need to read a book about the, what do you call it, Spanish-Mexican War. I know very little about Mexico history. I know about the Mayans, and that's about it.
You know that part of Mexico.
I don't know the...
Now, coming on the left side of the bus, right at the corner, we have the first public elementary school here in Mazatlan. Still works. Two shifts,
Escuela
morning one
primaria.
and the afternoon one. Now remember, because of the pandemic, kids have not gone back to school yet here in Mexico.
Wow.
Over here on the right side of the bus, we have the yellow building, which is the Freeman Hotel. Nowadays, it's a Best Western. The Freeman Hotel was built during 1954, and at that time was the tallest building in Mazatlan and was going to be 1 floor taller. But guess who got mad? Who could possibly get mad because of the height of a building? Any guesses? Exactly, the people at the cathedral. Because how dare you to build something taller than the cathedral, right? So they made it 1 floor less tall, and it housed the first elevator here in Mazatlan. Now this is the oldest part of our Front Beach Boulevard. It's more than 200 years old. It was recently refitted less than 2 years ago actually.
It must be high tide.
Yeah, definitely.
Then coming on the right side of the bus, we have the blue with gray building, which is the Belmar Hotel. Belmar Hotel was built during 1910. Was the first Front Beach hotel here in Mazatlan. And at that time, we had a lot of Hollywood celebrities staying here at the Belmar Hotel. Among them, we had John Wayne, who was a frequent guest of this venue because he liked to come here to Mazatlan to do some sport fishing. And also, during a storm, we also had Walt Disney and his wife staying here at the Belmar Hotel. Now take a look to the left side. Over on the rocks, on the water, you can see there's a seawater pool. There's a water slide over there. That one is known as Carpa Olvera. Was built during the 60s. During the 80s, it was completely destroyed by a hurricane. It's been over 30-40 years completely neglected until one of the last administrations refitted it, and also they added the water slide. And as it's a public pool, during the school breaks or weekends, it's packed with kids.
That looks terrifying.
That thing looks terrible.
You couldn't pay me money to get on that thing.
I think it's just a rust bucket. It's a rust flume.
Take a look on the right side. We have the symbol of Mazatlan, the white-tailed deer. We are the land of the deer, remember? So the symbol of Mazatlan is the white-tailed deer. People often ask me, well, do you have a lot of deers around the area? I'm 31 years old and I've never seen a deer here in Mazatlan. They all went to the mountains as the city grew. Still, we are the land of the deer.
Is he gonna jump right now?
Two-time national champion of surf. I'm always looking for a bigger wave, a bigger fish to jump at. This is what I do, and it's all for the good vibe. Whatever you guys want to donate after my brother jumps, okay? No more than $100, please. There he goes right now. Don't miss him. Thank you. Thank you for that person that donated this $20, okay?
Woo! Wow.
Hands on the water.
He said this neighborhood is known for historic buildings, and he called it tropical classical. Look at all that bougainvillea. Just beautiful.
So all the houses on top of this wall, the colorful ones, actually this area is considered to be a postcard from Mazatlan. People often ask me, are those staged? Do people live inside those houses? They're not staged. People do live inside those houses. Some even have a sign outside their houses asking people to drive along this street not to do it with the music out loud.
Someone to do that on our street.
One of the architectural features of Mexican architecture of the 1800s and 1900s is that a lot of houses will have a lot of windows. One will think that having a lot of windows in your house will be ventilation wise, right? To keep your house cool during the summer. But you'll see at one point of our history we were under the regime of a president that was more a dictator rather than a president. His name was Mr. Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna, the one who directed the Alamo from the Mexican side. And Mr. Santana, I'm just gonna say, he had a huge ego. He liked to go into battles. During one of the battles, sadly, he lost one of his legs, and then he made an entire state funeral for his leg alone. But he also needed a lot of money to fund his campaigns. And what he did is he implemented a series of taxes. Among them were that for each window that your house had, you have to pay a special tax. So having a lot of windows at that time was more a luxury rather than a necessity.
So
it was more a flex from their part having a lot of windows. Now remember, architecture here in downtown Mazatlan, it's protected. If you buy an old house here in Mazatlan, you cannot just tear it down and build something new. You have to respect the original architecture of the building. You have to restore the building. Over here on the right side, this building, it's brand new actually. They're still on construction, some of the areas. Prior to it, there was nothing. It was just a parking area. But as you can see, the outside, the facade of the building mimics the aesthetics of the buildings around the area to blend in.
Kodak. Oh my word.
I thought they went out of business. There's some right over there. There's like a mall.
It looks like a movie set.
It's like what?
A movie set.
So remember, we're getting down across the street. I'll be letting you know everything about the area. And remember, afterwards,
Flower shop.
all the way to $4.50 for the kilo. One tip, the bigger the shrimp it is, the less taste it has. Mid size still keep some of the flavor. The big ones, the jumbo ones, they look very nice, but they don't taste like anything. They're too old. Also, the clearer they are, the fresher they are. The more time they spend frozen, the darker they'll get. Over here, this is a pop-up market. If you come back here around 3, 4, they're gone. They'll show up tomorrow early morning in the same place. They sell scallops, lobster tails, oysters. The shrimp that they don't get to sell the first 2 or 3 days, they will dry it and sell it as a dry shrimp. So most of the stands on the left side of the bus, they have some square backs. Those are filled with dry shrimp. When would you eat the dry shrimp? Let's say you go to an old park here in downtown Mazatlan. Instead of getting a beer with your peanuts with your beer, you'll be served the dry shrimp with hot sauce and lemon. Very crunchy, very salty, but very good. And if you buy something from the vendors and you take it to this venue, yellow venue, which is El Ancla de Oro, the golden anchor, they'll prepare it for you for a cost, obviously. But they have several types of preparation for you to choose of. Now most of the vendors are ladies and they have a special nickname. In Spanish they're called changueras. There's not a literal translation for that. And also most of them are friends or relatives of the people working at the shrimp boats. That's why they can afford to have lower prices than, for example, Walmart here in Mazatlan. Very good. Also, coming on the left side of the bus, under where the blue umbrella is, that's where the small fishermen will come and serve the catch. Same as with the shrimp market. You have to be here at 6 o'clock because by noon all the fish is gone. They're eating, getting ready for the next day or napping. Now, is any of you familiar with the last name Haas? H-A-A-S. Why for? Good. Avocado. You make very good guacamole with Haas avocado. And the Haas family established not only in California but also here in Mazatlan. The last member of the Haas family that lived here was Mr. Antonio Haas. Mr. Antonio Haas, he was a scholar, an intellectual. He studied economics in Harvard. He was a businessman and agriculture man. He liked to do poetry in his free time. And he made a lot of philanthropic work for the people here in Mazatlan. He gave the money to rebuild our opera theater from ruins. And he also gave us the money to build a public hospital coming on the right side of the bus. So you will see his name outside of the building, Antonio Haas. Someone asked me the other day, did he just put his name outside of the building? He did not. When he passed away, the city administration added his name to the building in his honor.
Oh, that's nice. Teatro. Look at that color water. It's just beautiful.
Very good. Now this will be the widest part of From Beach Boulevard, or entire From Beach Boulevard. It's 12 miles long. It's the second longest From Beach Boulevard in Mexico after the one in Veracruz. And we have several second places after Veracruz. We're also the second most humid city in Mexico after Mérida and Veracruz. And we had the second biggest aquarium in Mexico and in Latin America. Luckily, we have a hydro pump system that is in charge of dropping the water back into the ocean.
Look at those waves. Fun.
Some of water there.
I don't know what that is.
Sea lions or I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what that is. Something out there.
Very good. Now, the From Beach Boulevard goes all the way ahead of us until where we have the White Castle on top of the rocks. That White Castle is called Valentinos, and it marks the beginning of the Golden Zone. How was the Golden Zone developed? You'll see during the 40s, the 50s, the city ended where the hospital is right now. There was nothing around this area. It was not even considered to be part of Mazatlan. There were just big sand dunes and farms. So at that time, a US citizen came here to town, Mr. Jim George, and he built a 42 hotel room over that area. People would laugh at him because why would you build a hotel so far away from town, right? So they started calling him names. Valentino's Castle, we have the Mazatlan sign. As I've mentioned you before, they got rid of all the parking areas. So we're not allowed to stop completely. So what Luis is doing, or will do, is he's gonna drive us as slow as possible for the people on the left side to take a photo out of the Mazatlan side. For the people on the right side, we'll do the same on our way back. Also, take a look back at the islands. You can see what I mentioned you before. How close are the Deer Island to the Goats Island?
I'm looking at this castle on the rock. That is cool.
That's where we have.
Well, now we know where to get ponchos.
Our baseball team, the Deers of Mazatlan, Los Venados de Mazatlan.
And playing outside.
Sí, señor. ¿Te gustó de las rancheras?
Nice. Oh my god.
Look at this.
You are my favorite person in the world.
Esta es la tortilla grande. Y siempre me anda por allá en el rancho grande.
Bienvenidos a Mazatlan. My new favorite place in the world right here.
Había una rancherita que alegre me decía, que alegre me decía. ¿Qué crees, güey, compa?
Oh, I'm drunk already. One drink, one sip, and I'm down for the count. Yeah, he could. It wouldn't take much. You have to play that for your teacher. listen to this guy. Of course, I'm sure she's heard all of that. Living in Mexico, she's heard all that.
Ese lunar que tiene, cielito lindo, no se lo des a nadie, cielito lindo, que a mí me toca. Ese lunar que tienes, cielito lindo, junto a tu boca. No se lo des a nadie, cielito lindo, que a mí me toca. Come on, everybody, okay? Okay? Ay, 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 ay.
I'm doing it.
Porque cantando te alegras, cielito lindo, los corazones. Sí, señor. Very good, very good.
Best beer ever. Lo mejor.
Siempre que te enamores, cielito lindo, cuida tus pasos. Ahora que estás solita, cielito lindo, dame un abrazo.
¿Cómo le? Es que era pollo McCrispy. That sounds delicioso. McTrio.
Mickey D. Or Mickey Day.
El McDonald's.
Is it Mickey Day? How do you say
Mickey Day?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's Mickey Day.
Very good. We're back at the Front Beach Boulevard, and remember, the first thing you'll see on the right side, next to the
7:30. Now, one important information for tomorrow in Puerto Vallarta is that the ship, the Puerto Vallarta.
Hey Barry, what did we do today?
We did a tour of Mazatlan. We did a little bus tour. We saw cliff divers. That was really cool. And they were no sooner hit the water within like within a minute. They went from water to Among Us, all soaking wet, asking for tips. So, which we gladly gave.
You know, when somebody risks their life for your pleasure.
For your entertainment. You may as well pay them for it.
Are you entertained?
They're not making an hourly rate for it, that's for sure.
So now we're about to shove off.
Now we're about to shove off.
He's going to use the thrusters.
You shove off.
No, you shove off. So I am excited because I would like to see us leave.
And one more forward.
2 days at sea and then Disneyland. Yay! I've never been so happy to get off a ship before.
I know, really. That kind of takes the edge off. The sadness of getting off on a cruise.
Yeah. Well, the best part of being on a cruise is that, it's wonderful generally, but you don't have to worry about dishes. You don't have to worry about cooking or where am I going to eat. There's none of that argument over what are we going to eat for dinner. Well, do you want pizza? I don't know. Do you want it? You just go to the dining room.
Just go to the dining room.
You eat what they have. It's so simple.
You can go to the buffet. You can go to the burger place. You can go to the noodle bar. At least on the ship. The most menial task I've done on a cruise ship is I've done my own laundry.
Yeah.
That was our first Alaska trip. I did it a couple of times.
Now, princess ships, at least the ones we have been on, have had laundry, like self-service.
Yeah, there's one on here.
I know.
On our floor.
Now, if you have them to do your laundry, you have to pay for that, and it takes like 2 days for you to get it back. So, Barry's got COVID. No, he doesn't.
Something got lodged.
Are we gonna move? Are we moving? I think we're moving. Holy cow, we are actually moving.
Right, GoPro do stuff.
Yeah, I'm hoping the time lapse turns out really good, even though it's kind of dark.
Yeah.
Is that Jupiter?
Hey, Jupiter.
Hey, Jupiter, nothing's been the same, so are you going?
Every time I say something that reminds her of a song, she will sing the whole song after that.
Thought we both could
Sometimes I do it on
use a
purpose.
friend to run to, and I thought I wouldn't have to keep with you something new.
We're standing still and the earth is moving away from us. Going to make you all disappear.
Disappear, disappear. We just did 2 different Disney attractions.
What's the other Disney?
That's from Maelstrom,
Oh, that's right.
which doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Disappear, disappear.
We never got on video.
What?
We never took video of Maelstrom.
You sure?
Pretty sure. I've never seen it.
I've got a lot of video that I haven't used. Ooh, that water is dark.
Sailing in a sea of coffee.
Well, at least everybody made it back on the ship. So, the ship's rules, princess rules, say that you have to be double vaccinated to get on this cruise. So at first, no children were on the cruise because they weren't eligible to get the vaccine. So we had this lovely cruise with no kids whatsoever. That was Alaska. And then they said if you're 12 and older, then you can get it. And then just recently they said 5 and older can get it. So the 5 to 12, it hasn't been enough time for them to have gotten their vaccinations. But there are plenty of 12 to adults on this ship. More of 12-year-old to 18-year-olds.
Oh, I've only seen the one in the pool just now. That's like the only young person I've seen, like 12, preteens now.
I've seen a few. I've seen a few. Bye-bye, Mazatlan. I didn't know what to think of you, and now that I've been here, I still don't know what to think of you.
Yeah, the excursion was nice.
Sure was.
That excursion with that tour guide would have been good in the city.
True.
Like, you know.
annoys the people on land.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, they always blow. You know, every cruise ship has a horn that blows, but this one plays the Love Boat theme. So
Right. People here probably don't even know what that song is.
I don't think.
Most people on board don't know.
I don't think people
is.
my age know what that song is.
I know.
If you didn't-
It was my childhood.
If you didn't watch Nick at Night or
It wasn't. I don't think it was even on Nick at Night.
We're-
I saw it in its original run.
well, you're old.
I'm old. I'm 50.
I'm 41, and
But I'm
I
old
saw
enough-
it at some time.
But I'm old enough for that whole cast to still be alive. Young enough. I mean,
No, one of them's dead.
Who died recently?
I think the captain.
Oh, Gavin McLeod did?
I think he did.
No, I didn't hear about it. That's sad. Ted Lange is still with us, so good. He's the bartender. He's my favorite.
Yeah.
The water looks cool like that. Agitated.
Yeah.
Slightly agitated.
Yeah. We thrust it off.
It's flashing.
Yeah, it should. Oh, we're booking it now. We're booking it now.
You notice they never blew the horn one time on our last cruise.
Nope.
Except for I think they blew the foghorn.
Yeah,
They did blow the foghorn several times.
necessarily because
Necessarily.
we couldn't see anything.
But they didn't really need to blow it because we left Port of Seattle at 6 in the morning. So
Yeah.
I think that's why they didn't.
I don't know why they blow it to begin with. Is it some kind of rule or is it a?
Why 3 times?
I always thought it was a warning to other boats.
And I think you could fit the Love Boat on here probably at least twice.
Oh, 3 times. Have you
Times,
seen that
maybe
thing?
2.5.
Have you seen that
The
thing?
original Pacific Princess. was
Yeah. Well, even
pretty
the
tiny.
current Pacific Princess is tiny. I wonder what that would be like to go on a. Not me. I hear it, but it's not me.
It's just someone tapping.
Yeah.
Or something. You think it was what?
Those world cruises where you go on the Pacific Princess for like 6 months. Like, I don't think I would get sick of it,
Oh, I wouldn't.
but
You know,
maybe
you
I
get-
would. I don't know.
You know, it's going to be the same old shows on board and stuff like that.
Well, I think they do different stuff though.
And it's a small ship, so you'll see everything and know where everything is very quickly.
We've got the moon. We've got
But it just-
what I think is Jupiter. We've got the skywalk above us. No, it's not skywalk. Seawalk.
Seawalk.
Because they got sued for that.
Did they? Oh,
They used to call it Skywalk, and then it's too much like Skywalker, so
Yeah, they probably were.
they changed the name to Seawalk.
Seawalk is better anyway. Seawalker. My coworker was with us, that's what I call him.
Okay.
I hope everyone's still there when I get back. It's just them on this cruise.
I know. I have a secret weapon. I can ruin it for everybody except me. Don't make me break out my opera. Oh, they're waving down there. You see them? ¡Hasta la vista! That's like one of the few times someone has actually said goodbye to us, for sure. Well, I mean, in Fort Lauderdale, those people hang out on their balconies and wave.
That's hilarious. The guy with the air horn.
Yeah.
Oh God, that was hilarious.
But my first cruise, I had watched all those Kathy Lee Gifford commercials of Carnival. You know, if they could see me now, I'm on a fun ship cruise, and she's getting on the cruise, and they're leaving, and there's all these people on the dock waving back, and there's balloons going off, and there's fireworks, and I'm like, oh my God, cruising looks like so much fun. And we were all standing outside in the heat in our life jackets doing a muster drill. It's very disappointing. At least now you don't have to do the muster drill. I mean, you do, but you do it in your room.
Keep it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Post-COVID, I hope they keep it that way. That is way better.
I hated getting on a cruise the first day. It was like, well, could be. They said that they ship a lot of their. Okay. The one on the back is a cruise ship. The one on the back.
Down there, it looks like part of where you drive cars on.
The one on the front, that one is a ferry. The one on the back is a cruise ship. The Venata, how do you say it? Venanta. I can't read. Okay. Hi, Playa Sur. Playa Sur Uno. That's pretty stuff. I don't care who you are. It sure is. That's what I saw when we were coming in this morning. I was getting dressed and getting ready for the day, and I looked out the window and I just saw this mountain right next to us, and I was like, what? Where did you come from? Weirdo. Is that the lighthouse? The El Faro?
I guess that's probably the hard to go, to and from work. You lived up there.
I think there's a road.
I'm sure there is, but it's a long ride. It's probably treacherous. It goes like this. It's all hairpin.
Yeah.
We saw that road, actually. Or something similar, anyway.
Bye-bye, Mazatlan.
This would be me as a whale, and he was my whale life. What's the matter, honey? I hit my head on a cruise ship.
Careful. Here's your jetty. I don't know if you can see it in the dark. I don't know if you can even really see it. We're sure making a wave. Yeah, that's all us.
All those waves.
Mm-hmm. It's our wake. I smell fishy woo. Bye bye, Mazatlan. How do you say fun in Spanish?
¿De fun?
Ajá.
Divertido.
Muy divertido.
Oh, you're not diverted.
Are you not entertained?